Following is a fair main video. lavitzbass6666 does not own any of the rights to the content in this video except for my voice and my opinion. Please support the official release. I love Dragon Ball Z. Anybody who knows me knows that, and pretty much anybody who doesn't know me probably would know that. However, there are certain aspects of the newer versions of Dragon Ball Z, such as the HD release, the Kai, and all the other HD, Blu-ray, all those releases that kind of get my undergarments twisted within my crack. So here are 5 reasons why the Funimation Dragon Ball Z dub, the very first one, not any other ones that followed, the very first one, is far superior to every other version of Dragon Ball Z out there. Number 5, effort. If you look at the older version of Dragon Ball Z, the Funimation dub, you'll notice that there is a considerable amount of effort that they put into it. Even though sometimes the mouth movements didn't quite measure up and some of the lesser voice actors did phone it in at times, you can't fault them for all the effort that they did back in the early 90s. These voice actors, the animators, the converters, they all put a lot of work into this, making sure that the product that they put out was awesome. It's not half-assed like they did with the HD remake, like where they just cut the top and bottom off, stretched it a little bit, and then fucked with it even more, which I'll get into more details later on. But they just fuck it. They copied, cut, paste, and they just ripped the fucking shit to pieces. It was not a good thing to experience when they redid all the versions. And Kai, well, though the animation may look pretty to some, I reckon it just looks like a very half-assed job, if you ask me. It's kind of depressing. Number 4, the jokes we could make about the anime. Before Kai came along, one of the long-running jokes of Dragon Ball Z was Frieza couldn't tell time, and so many other jokes that I just won't get into right now, but they used to be fun talking about, joking about, and continuously going on about it. Now, it just seems like, what's the fucking point? With Kai, you can't even freaking make the joke about Frieza can't tell time anymore. They just sped through that. Originally, the fight with Frieza was literally an entire season. Literally. Frieza shows up at the end of one season, he shows up and they're gearing up to fight him, and then the entire season was just the fight with Frieza. And now it's like 5-6 episodes. It's so depressing. It's crap. It just lacks the soul of Dragon Ball Z. If you can't make the stupid jokes about certain things, it just fails to be Dragon Ball Z. That's part of the fun of Dragon Ball Z, and they just took that from us. And yeah, I still can't get over the crappy animation of friggin' Kai. It's just so crap. Really crap.
So, how long have you guys been down here plotting to defeat me? About 5 minutes.
It's been over 27 years, Frieza! Get a watch and a calendar!
Number 3. The voice acting. Now, I know I've been getting into Kai a lot, but I really have to go on this tangent. What the fuck has happened to the voices? I know some of the voice actors I probably couldn't get, but for God's sakes, what does fucking Gohan sound like? He sounds like freaking Justin Bieber with his balls caught in a fucking vice. Freaking Piccolo sounds like, well, I don't know what the fuck Piccolo sounds like, but he doesn't sound like Piccolo. The only one that I really think sounded at all similar to the main characters was Cell. And what the fuck happened? You had some of the best voice actors of all time working on this show, and a lot of these are still working. Why the hell didn't you get them? It was so easy. Hell, they probably would have done it for the fun of it, but you didn't. All the voice actors are just wrong. No voice properly captures the mood of any of the characters anymore. It is terrible. And even some of the lip flaps don't work up, and it's supposed to be some Blu-ray HD bloody bullshit, and it just doesn't work. The effort in the voice acting is also subpar. I know I went on effort at the start of the friggin' review, but it's just no heart or soul was placed into any of this friggin' remake. It was crap. That's all I can really say about it. It had no soul. It just ruined the entire experience if you enjoyed the voice acting. And yes, I know the original Funimation dub, the voice acting was way over the top, but that was what was good about it. You could hear the friggin' voice actors having fun with it. Now it's just phoning it in and it's just phoned in. I can't really express it anymore other than the fact that, yeah, phoned in and they didn't give a shit, obviously. It really shows, guys. It really shows. Number 2, the animation. And it's time to give Kai's ass a bit of a rest. We're going on to the HD remake. The HD remake did 2 terrible things. One I'm going to say for number 1, but number 2 was, well, the animation. They sliced the top and bottom off the anime and then stretched it out to make it look weird. They did this for the entire show. Every scene looked like it was ripped apart, then glued back together by some drunken tit. Not to mention they cut out a lot of scenes. They may have only been small scenes. Sometimes they froze the scene together, but a lot of the times they just took scenes out. They took Gohan getting punched as a kid. They took out bloody Android 16's head getting smashed. They took out so many things. They took out anything with blood. They took out anything with well, they didn't take anything out with violence, but they did take out some of the violence. Some of the more, let's see, eye-opening scenes, they just completely cut out. And this, I can understand they wanted to market it a bit to a more younger audience. Well, because, well, if you look at the Japanese subs, a lot of the times Vegeta swears in a couple of the movies. It's actually quite hilarious, but we're not getting into that right now. It's just the animation that they did of the HD remake, and okay, I'm going back to Kai. Kai's animation sucks. Honestly, it's terrible. It's just terrible. I can't go into details about it because this video will last hours, but it's not Dragon Ball Z animation. It's just weird. What is with it? Okay, let's move on to number 1. Okay, here we are, number 1, and it's the biggie. It's the one thing that has killed every version of Dragon Ball Z that I have watched since the Funimation dub. This is something that killed the mood. It kills everything that I love about Dragon Ball Z, and I just can't stand to watch them anymore unless I go back and ground around trying to find the original. Here it is, the music. This change in music. I know they went back to the original Japanese music, and yes, if you're Japanese, yeah, it might suit it fairly well. But the American dub, and I don't usually praise American for anything really, but the American dub, they brought in all this new music for it. Metal, rock, bit of grunge, bit of punk. They brought in all these different types of music for the show, for the movies, and it just worked. It captured the mood perfectly. You couldn't get a better show. The show, with its music, its animation, it just merged together to create this ball of awesomeness that was unrivaled in any other type of anime that I've pretty much seen to date. And I've seen a fuck ton of anime. I've got freaking, I don't know, hundreds, close to thousands of anime, and they still don't capture that same feeling. Okay, a couple of animes have come close with the music and the animation and getting it really good, but you watch something like the first Broly movie. You watch the US version of it, the Funimation dub of it, and that music just captured that movie perfectly. It was excellent. It was epic. It was fast-paced when it needed to be, and then you watch the other version of it, when they put the older music back onto it, and what do you get? High-pitched beep 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 music when someone's throwing punches, getting thrown through fucking buildings. That's not the type of music that really captures the mood, does it? No, it doesn't. You watch both of those movies back to back, and you'll see which one is superior. You watch, and it's the same with the actual show itself. Yep, I understand. Wait, I'll just go into this bit of a tangent. They used music very similar to Dragon Ball. Now, Dragon Ball had music that captured the theme of it, but that was Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. And yeah, they used a bit of that music in Dragon Ball GT, but Dragon Ball GT, for my opinion, was pretty good. It was a fusion of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, hence Dragon Ball Z. And it was a good show. I know they keep trying to make it non-canon and all that crap, but fuck that. It was awesome. Me being a lover of science, I like the idea of fusion. And fusing the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z together to make GT, it was a good thing. It captured both feelings of the show, but never really excelled in either of them. But I'm going back to Dragon Ball Z now, because fuck it. The music of Dragon Ball Z in the Funimation dub was the best ever. I could go on a massive tangent right now. I could talk literally for hours, maybe even days. I've discussed this with some of my friends. Oh, freaking, okay, there's under 10 of them, but that's not the point. Everybody who I know personally, in face-to-face conversation, who's watched the original and grew up with the original Funimation dub, and when they watch the newer versions, they always go, "Hey man, you got the Dragon Ball Z on your portable drive or something?" I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Have you got the good version of Dragon Ball Z?" And I'm like, "Yes." They're like, "No, the one with the good music." I'm like, "Yes, I've got that." They're like, "No, the one with the really good music, because if you got the wrong music, I will punch you." I have been punched because I put on the wrong version of Dragon Ball Z, and I've punched people because they've put on the wrong Dragon Ball Z. Either way, I'm not going on too much of a tangent here. The thing is, the music was the heart and soul of Dragon Ball Z, and it just worked. And all the later versions, okay, I understand that on the Blu-ray HD, like the Blu-ray version, apparently they do have it, like the proper music and the proper voice acting, but until I actually see that for myself, I'm not going to do it, because I ain't shelling out another $600-700 just to get a version that I've already got. Either way, this is my list. What can I say? If you can manage to get hold of the original Funimation dub, watch it. It is far superior to every other version of Dragon Ball Z. Alright, catch you later. Have a good one.